Get ready for a controversial video. We'll cover the biggest transformations happening in writing and literature review, what tools are leading the change, and most importantly, how you can adapt to the AI revolution happening everywhere and also in academia. Quick introduction, if you don't know me yet, hi, I'm Aynur. I'm a third-year PhD student in chemical engineering at Imperial College, and I share my knowledge on AI tools in academia through all my social media channels. Alright, let's start about the first thing that I'm gonna say is gonna be replaced entirely by AI in the future, in my opinion. And this is writing, more specifically academic writing. So I come from a STEM background, I'm an engineer, and with engineers and also like people who run experiments and collect data and everything, our soul and our heart of the work is literally the data that we collect and the experiments that we run. So once we have that data, the writing part is actually really annoying because now like you did all the work and you just have to like write it together. And I feel like in that sense, these AI writing tools, they do a great job in like putting all these notes and keywords into a nicely written academic text that conveys the message of these experimental results. And you'll see this not only in the way that these AI writing assistants work, but also a lot of journals actually allow the use of AI for that reason. The only thing you cannot do is alter your results with AI, but this was something like altering scientific results that wasn't allowed even before AI, right? So with AI writing assistants, we can save a lot of time in terms of like writing research proposals, academic journals, even like for thesis writing. Now, the thing that's important here is that it really depends on what your background is. So I can imagine that in humanities, where the effort maybe lies more in writing, that it is more important to get your own writing style included. That would be beyond my knowledge. Please comment if you're in humanities and what your take on AI writing is. But as I said, like in engineering, the main work goes in finding a research gap, then building that experiment, running these experiments, collecting the data, evaluating the data. And then once you did all that, it's really just an easy part of writing the thesis. So that's why also a lot of like engineering PhD students, they write their thesis in like the last 3 months or so of their PhD. And before that, all they do is collect data, run experiments, and try to figure out how that's done, right? So this is like a thing that I really think AI is going to replace in the future. And the better these models get, the less work we have to do in terms of writing. Now, at the moment, what's lacking? I feel like individualization is lacking. Like the prompting thing is very, the whole I create a prompt and then AI writes based on that prompt thing is very non-standardized. So I think like an AI tool where you could, that walks you through the process of creating that writing prompt, so you can really like specify, okay, I'm writing this for this journal, this is my starting position, this is the tone I want. Maybe you can even upload like script of something you've written yourself so that it can adapt your own language, and then something where you like maybe spend a couple minutes, 5 minutes or so setting up the model so that it works entirely like you want it, and then you paste all your notes and all your experiments, graphs, figures there, and then it just starts writing. Now, the important part here obviously is that the thinking is still done by you. So that's also something that journals specify when it comes to AI writing, that AI should not draw conclusions by its own. So it's going to be you saying like, from this data, we can understand this and this and this conclusion. But then the part of putting like these, you were the thinker, okay? You thought these original thoughts, that's all yours. But then putting all these individual thoughts into like sentences and like into a written text, I think that's going to be replaced by AI. So at the moment, there are already a lot of useful AI writing tools out there. I mean, Jenny AI, I've worked with them multiple times. Also, Paperpal is a great useful tool. These things are great, but I think over time, they're even gonna get stronger and better. And as I said, it would be nice to have like a system where they walk you through, set up your AI writing agent, and then it's just gonna sound like written by you. Okay, so I hope this made sense. So this is the first part. I think we can really outsource this in the future. The second thing is literature reviews. And this is so nice. Like, I'm so happy about this. Like, ever since ChatGPT was launched, it just gotten better and better and better. So AI is able to extract information from the World Wide Web, right? But also from open access literature, and also like with newer tools, maybe also like from licensed literature. And this way we save a lot of time in scanning literature. So here are ways that it works already. So one thing that's amazing is tools like futurehouse.org. And I mean, that's, for example, open source entirely. These are great to get started with your literature review. So instead of what you did previously, doing like a Google search, a Google Scholar search, or whatever your literature data bank is, what you're now going to do is use futurehouse.org, and you're going to prompt and you're going to ask your research question. So whatever you're looking for. So previously, what you had to do was to come up with different keywords and tags and searching words so that you can cover like the entire literature space, right? So for example, like I work on bubble entrainment, liquid plunging jet. This is one keyword, but then also a lot of the things that I do are also in bubble column reactors or also in waves, like ocean waves. So there are very similar physics in some part of it. But like these tools like futurehouse.org, is like you paste your prompt and then they will auto-create their own research, their own tags and their own keywords. And I found it really fascinating how good it works. So it will take away all the hustle of creating keywords to do good searches. Then it will put together a great reference list to get you started. And also, like, this is again what FutureHouse does. It gives you like not only like a reference list, but it will also give you the citation amount, how much it was cited. It will also say things like domain leading or most reference, so that you know, okay, this paper is super important, this is less important. So it will basically gather this huge literature list for you, all very well sorted to what you were looking for. And what it will also do is create like this mini literature review for you, where it will put down what it has found from its own research. Now, at the moment, I feel like it's good. It's a great starting point, but it feels like it's lacking some depth still. So it still feels like if your literature review, if you do something that's important and you really want to dive deep into it, you have to like take this as the starting point and then take it further from there. But then I think the reason for that might be that a lot of these tools don't have access to all the literature that we have, because as a university student through your university, you usually get much more access to different journals and different resources. So I think like that's missing, that can be missing. And apart from that, I think it's just still under development. But even though, like, it has saved me so much time in the past, especially in the case where you just quickly want to look up something, it does an amazing job. And then also, once you've gathered all that literature and you've sorted it and you know, these are my 20, 30 most important literature in that area, you can use tools like Notebook LM. This is also a free tool to like create overview tables, extract important information. You can say from these 30 papers, extract all you know about this and that. Create an overview table about all the experimental methods and the methodologies used, compare them with one another. What is the research gap here? And these tools, like, you know, in the early days of ChatGPT, it would hallucinate, make up references that don't exist. With these tools, you always get like the references shown up in after every sentence, so you can really like look it up immediately. So yeah, to extract information, it works so good, you'll be astonished if you haven't tried Notebook LM yet. So extracting important information from it has gotten much, much easier. Summarizing and also like looking for research gaps within these papers has also gotten much, much easier. Now, in the future, where it needs a bit more development is maybe like that we can define the depth of the literature review, so that we can say, okay, like this, we really need a deep dive into it, and then maybe let the model run for more than 10 minutes and really like make it work on it, so that we get like a really like in-depth literature review. And again, I think what we need as humans is like a system that walks us through the prompting, so that we will be asked all these important questions. So it'll be like, okay, what is this literature review for? What are you looking for specifically? What are some keywords, blah, blah, blah. So you set up your own AI agent and then let it run. I think then the results will be much better than it is at the moment with these tools. So yeah, these are the two areas where I think AI will replace in academia. Now, at the moment, still, again, both areas are still under development, but even like the current state of the art is really good. What I would recommend you to do is, if you are still feeling skeptic about AI, you basically have like two decisions. Either you're gonna remain skeptic about AI and never use it, but the problem with this is that I get it, I understand you, but a technology that's already out there in the world is not gonna disappear. Okay, that's the problem. It's not gonna go away. Just because you ignore it, it's not gonna go away. And all these people, they're gonna learn it, and by adapting to it, they're gonna work more efficient than you, because they know, okay, I can outsource this, I can outsource that, and I can get a week work. I mean, these literature review things, they save me 1 or 2 days in a row. They get the work of 1 day done in 10 minutes. And then you're gonna feel left behind, because all these other people, they use these tools, right? And that's the problem. So it's not even about like not being skeptical about it, but it's just AI is launched, we can't do anything about it. It's out there. This would be like boycotting the internet and not using the internet. It's just gonna make our lives much harder if we do not adapt to it. At least that's how I view this, right? So my final message would be lean into it, try it out, inform yourself. Obviously still be skeptic. We have, as researchers and scientists, we still have to like keep our minds sharp and make sure that our ideas are our ideas and our conclusions are our conclusions. But all that dummy tasks, things that we can outsource, this is your own assistant, your personal assistant. You can outsource it and let it create for you and for free. That's also important. Yeah, if you found it useful, then share it, write a comment about how you use AI in academia, and subscribe to this channel. This would mean a lot. And other than that, I hope you'll stay safe wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.